Hello and welcome back to another episode of whatever we're calling this.
We review stuff.
Yeah, we just review stuff. Okay. So this one is a little bit longer than normal because we've watched the entire Leprechaun franchise and we're just going to discuss it all together right now.
I think we're mainly gonna, I don't know. We just tonight finished watching Leprechaun Returns, which is the most recent film in the franchise.
Yeah.
So I feel like we might focus on that a little bit.
So, okay, to explain though, Warwick Davis is the original Leprechaun, and he was in it for Leprechaun 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then there are lapses of time, and then in 2003, I think, I don't know the exact number, 2003 or something, but Leprechaun Origins comes out, and then 2018, not too long ago, Leprechaun Returns. So
yes. The original movies are all the ones with Warwick Davis in it, who is in the Harry Potter, I guess.
Yeah. He's like the bank guy. The bank guy from Harry Potter is the same guy who plays Leprechaun.
But they are all kind of in the same vein. Like, they do not take themselves very seriously. The Leprechaun is silly. It's almost kind of like a Chucky vibe, where it's like scary, but like meant to be a comedy also.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they do crazy stuff for an hour and a half, just until the hour and a half mark, so that they can be like a feature film. And then they're like, "All right, we got it. That's a wrap." Like, there's no need to set it up for the next one. There's no need to explain everything. Like, there's no need for any of that. So
that's so true.
Yeah,
that's so true.
So tell us about like where the Leprechaun finds himself in these different.
Okay, well, hold on. So he goes to Vegas, and it's
wait a minute. The first one
with Jennifer
Aniston. Yes, and that one's kind of normal. It's in like a small town. Then number 2, where is he at?
It's like a cave or medieval times kind of stuff. No, Hollywood. He's in Hollywood, but there was sets and stuff. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So he was in Hollywood, but it wasn't like an over the top like I was in Hollywood.
He was just
like in the next one, which is number 3, which is Leprechaun in Vegas, which I really enjoyed. So like so far out of those 3 movies, I would say watch number 1. Don't worry about number 2. Watch number 3. But here's the thing. Seen them all, and I know for a fact that Leprechaun 1 does not end and pick up with Leprechaun 2. Like, yes. They never acknowledge that the previous movie happened.
Yes.
Yeah, not even when they go back to the hood.
Wait a minute. Okay, so Leprechaun 3 is in Vegas. Leprechaun 4 is in space. Leprechaun 5 is in the hood, and Leprechaun 6 is back in the hood.
And we say the hood because literally the title is
the title.
It was like the 90s where they'd be like, yeah, put "the" on it, that's fine, that'll appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
And it was like no, just put "the hood," back to the hood. It's like okay, but
yes,
it's the title.
Yes. So, and in every of those movies, in each of those movies, they kill him. And then in the next movie, they never address how he has just come back to life, even though he was for real super dead in the last one. They never try at all, and it's so refreshing to see it, because it's like I watch these movies and like it's like I want to know where he died last movie, guys. You got to explain that a little bit in this absolutely fantasy world that you've made here, but I need some reality. You need to base that shit, you know.
Oh.
Is it magic? Is it voodoo?
Well, also, like, they don't explain it in the movie that comes next. But they also don't give any room for, like, questions as to whether or not he's really dead.
Yeah.
At the end of
it's pretty
any
definitive.
of the movies.
It's always definitive.
It's like, oh, he's definitely dead. There's no, like, wink, there's no nod, there's no question, he's dead.
Yeah.
And then in the next movie, he just pops up somewhere else, like when he gets to space.
Oh my god.
From Hollywood. How is he there? Why is he there? What year is it? And who knows?
It literally just, like, starts out with, like, for Leprechaun 3, it's just him and this princess, like...
Wait, this is Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yes, okay, yeah. Sorry,
him and this princess, sorry.
Him and this princess just, like, sitting there, like, having, like, some, like, you know, drinking and eating, talking about, like, your father is a king, you know, and I want to become a king. Like, I have to marry you. You're going to be my bride. And it's like, what is this leprechaun doing in, like, I guess an asteroid or whatever the hell he's doing? And the only thing they explain is somewhat with a throwaway line where they're like, it's like, why are we hunting this thing? And it's like, oh, well, he's caused over $10 billion to the mining industry. And it's like, that's the whole reason these space marines are there, to kill the leprechaun.
Yeah, well, and then, like, space marines are there. So that says to me, we're in the future at some point. But we have no idea. And all of the other movies seem to be set in the present time.
Yeah.
The ones before and the ones after this. Yeah. So it's like, what's happening?
He dies all the time. And, like, yeah, the one would be... It's all over the place.
Go ahead. I had something else, but I forgot what it was.
Okay, so we talked about Vegas. Then we talked about space. They never explain it. And then we go to the hood. And you know what? We're going back to the hood. Like, I was like...
okay.
I was like, I said, no way. No absolute way could we go back to the hood. Like, how could we do that? I felt like we got everything from the hood the first time. And I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. And...
The thing I liked about Back to the Hood is that they gave a lot more backstory.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It took the 6th movie to give a little bit more backstory.
As to, like, why the leprechaun exists and, like, any reason for his...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Leprechaun 3 did some impressive things because they tried to add a little bit of lore. They were like, you know, this dude... In the pawn shop, he has a CD. Like, it's so 90s.
Oh, what does he have?
It's so 90s that, like, when he sees the leprechaun, he's like, oh, I better go get my fictional character's CD,
like encyclopedia,
and then go put it in my personal computer, and then it pops up and it's like the leprechaun.
Yeah,
and then it gives you like a couple little pages of it, and It says everything out loud, like it's like it's a child's my first fictional characters thing, and so when all that happens, the store
clerk leprechaun. Or the leprechaun? When all that happens, he.
Who? I just completely forgot.
Sorry.
So, you derailed me so hard.
I'm sorry.
But it was so funny because that's the way you used to have to get information.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave us a couple lines. It gave us the information about why Leprechaun's doing what he's doing. He wants to protect his gold. But then it also later introduces that 2 leprechauns in the same area, not great.
They're territorial.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, so, like, you know. But he bit the guy, and he was like...
Turned him into a leprechaun.
And it was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. But
yeah.
But you know what? It doesn't necessarily need to be. It could be... That could only work in Leprechaun 3, and then that's it. We just toss it out, and we never address it again.
Yeah.
He could bite 30 other people, and none of them would ever change.
Okay, so the other thing that I want to say about, like, the original 6, because I feel like they're a set.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
original 6, I really like how much the Leprechaun is like into people cross-dressing.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of cross dressing, and he's also like he's also cool. I mean, well, other than killing everybody, he's
He
pretty
parties.
cool. He parties. He drinks. Uh, he was smoking a blunt in the hood, and then he went back and he smoked a bong in the hood.
Yeah, yeah. So I liked all those, and like he's got these cool limericks, and he's
Yeah.
very silly.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good kills.
Yes. Now, if I'm recommending you watch the series, I kind of feel like you just need to run the gamut, but you could skip number 2, honestly, and skip space, because I can tell you right now, the premise is space, but they don't do anything. It's literally like what you said. They let it run for an hour and a half,
And
and
then
they
they're
do
like,
space things,
"That's
and
a
then
wrap."
and then it's like he dies. He always dies. Don't worry, guys. He'll be back next episode. Like, it doesn't matter. We're not gonna explain it either. He died in space. He blew up. There's not a lot of ways to write ourselves out of that, so we won't address it at all.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We can say definitively next movie he's dead and gone, and we could write it off. We could put it in writing in the video, and then in 6 we're like, he's back. We're not gonna even fucking acknowledge any of the first part.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think those are the things that I liked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, I liked that it didn't take itself seriously. I liked that it was so weird, and like I liked all of that from the original 6.
Okay.
Then we move on to Leprechaun Origins,
which I was really excited for, because I was like, finally we're gonna get some Leprechaun lore.
I want to know why the Leprechaun exists. I want to know how it got here. I want to know all the things about the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
The first thing that was a red flag was that Warwick Davis wasn't in it.
He's not. He's not.
And I don't know.
He didn't come back for it, but not always do the original actors come back for Origins, because it's set up so far back or whatever.
Although
even though technically
this one wasn't.
And also technically he would still be the same, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though it was set at the beginning, he's never been a baby leprechaun, right?
I mean, as far as we know, I don't know.
We don't know the lore about it. Is there like little tiny leprechaun babies?
I don't know.
But yeah.
But yes, so I don't know who did Origins.
Another wrestler.
Wrestler?
I think it's a little person wrestler.
No, I mean like who?
Hornigold.
No, I mean like who made it.
Oh, who did that one?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, well you talk about it.
When do we ever know who makes the movies?
Well, we know who made the last one.
We do, but that's
what I'm saying.
It was. Okay, you want to compare the two?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Start
okay.
Googling.
Okay.
So Origins. Can I say?
Go.
Okay, I was so excited to get lore, and we explained that, and I was really excited. It's like, okay, this is the first time they try and go back to the franchise.
All right, Leprechaun Origins. By the way, 2014.
Oh, not 2003. I was not even.
Anyways, WWE Studios.
Okay, so WWE Studios.
Oh my god, that explains so much.
They make a few other horror movies too, by the way. Like if you were to click on that, and it would show you more. But okay, so but the actor was Hornigold or something. Hornswoggle. There it is. I kept Hornigold. That's pirates, right?
I don't know.
Hornigold. I'm just positive.
Hornigold would be a leprechaun name though. Gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Hornswoggle.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hornswoggle. He's in this, and so it's like, okay, well, maybe he's gonna do the wisecracking thing because he performs in WWE. So yeah, I could see that. He never speaks.
Oh my god, it's so
There you go. I'll start off right there. He never speaks. Why would you do
a movie after having a chunk. You got 6 movies. You dragged it out 6 movies worth.
Yeah.
And then you're like, let's resurrect that franchise, but let's not do anything that the original franchise did at all. Not even try.
Yes. Yes.
So he doesn't speak. So that's the first part, and that's like that'll tell you everything you need to know.
Not everything, but I mean it's bad.
Yeah. If I said what if we just muted every Leprechaun movie?
Yeah.
And neither of us can actually talk either. Like none of us can talk. We just watch a muted Leprechaun movie. There you go. It's like, oh, I bet he has some cool things to say. It's like, it's
so
muted.
basically, in this one just throws away everything. I mean, the other ones, between 1 and 6, they didn't care about what happened. Like, 2 didn't care about what happened in 1, 3 didn't care about what happened in 2. But the thing that always stayed the same was the Leprechaun character was always the same. So he was kind of like the rock. In this one, the Leprechaun is different. The Leprechaun is like a golem.
Okay, yeah. It's like a golem or like some kind of like
little
troll monster. Like feral.
And
like feral.
You don't even get like a really good shot
No.
of this the entire movie.
You get a couple glances. It looks like a weird vampire also.
Yeah, and basically it takes 4 teenagers. They're like out in Ireland and like backpacking or whatever. One of the guys is the guy from Rampage.
But he was also in Freddy vs. Jason as the brother who gets burnt up on his back to send a message.
Anyways, so basically they are in this town in Ireland, and they get hooked into this cabin by these locals who, like, unbeknownst to the travelers, the locals are like, oh, well, we're going to sacrifice them to the leprechaun because apparently the locals had stolen the leprechaun's gold, whatever.
We made a deal with this leprechaun that doesn't speak at all.
Yes.
This would be the time for him to speak, if ever.
Yes.
Is when he makes a fictional agreement with these people where he's like, I'm not going to eat you guys.
But you have to sacrifice.
Yeah, sacrifice some people. Maybe a little bit of gold here and there. Bring them my way. We're good.
Yeah. So anyways, all the stuff that everybody loved about 1 through 6 is not in this movie. It's so bad. It's just like, they tried to make Leprechaun into something that takes itself seriously. They really tried to make it like any other like run-of-the-mill horror movie, which takes away from the whole thing, like just denies what Leprechaun is. And it's real bad.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so like the...
Oh, and the Predator.
Yes. The worst thing about the movie, other than the Leprechaun doesn't talk, there's nothing funny. It tries to rebrand itself as like creature feature, like this leprechaun monster is gonna run out and eat you because you have gold or whatever, and just like break you apart. Like the kills were cool, and like they did some stuff, and
oh yeah, but the pacing was awful.
The pacing was awful, but they did some stuff. So like there were some visual things that were appeasing, but
yeah.
It was a creature feature, and then like they also did like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing, where it's like everybody's in on it in the town, and you know, like even the sweet old lady who like you're like, oh, I'll help you on your way out, and you know they're all in on it.
Yeah.
And
there was nothing original about this movie.
No, and it would have got lost in a sea of all these other movies, but it was just. Leprechaun. They just got Leprechaun on it, and I mean, like you call it Shamrocked or you know whatever the hell you want, but it's not Leprechaun. It's not. It should not be in this franchise. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Just skip it. We have watched it for you. We saved you an hour and a half, right?
Yes.
Just like it would be fine on its own if it wasn't a Leprechaun franchise, but if you want to watch the Leprechaun franchise, don't do this. Or you can watch it like what we did and you might have a better appreciation for Leprechaun Returns.
Oh my gosh, Leprechaun Returns is absolutely my favorite. Like it's
See,
so
this is what watching Origins
good.
does to you.
Well, Leprechaun Returns was done by Sci-Fi. First of all,
Yeah,
I think that was good. And they did everything that Leprechaun Origins did not do. They harkened back to the original Leprechaun. They had actors from the original Leprechaun, not Warwick Davis, but the other people that like co-starred
Survived from one.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually canon in comparison to the other movies. The first movie ends, and then 25 years passes, and then the next, and then this movie.
Yeah, and so it like follows the daughter of Jennifer Aniston, who was in the first one, and she goes back to the original house, and like they have all these references to the first one, and like the leprechaun comes back, and he is like not quite the same character, because I don't think like anybody could really pull it off like Warwick Davis.
It's like if they did another Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was not like Jackie Earl Ray or Harley or whatever. Jackie. There's three names for Jackie Earl Ray, I think, maybe.
For Freddy?
For the remake Freddy. Not Robert Englund.
I was gonna say, I was like, it's not Robert Englund.
Yeah, but it would be the same as like if you got a very, very close to him to Robert Englund, and then you got another guy.
Yes. So like they do a really good job of like,
he ain't the original, but he does a really good job. You know, good. I would like to see this. I would like to see this guy. Go ahead.
No, go. You figure
this guy. I'd like to see this guy go to other locations. It was 2018. I think it's time for another one. I think they need to come back. Sci-Fi needs to get another one. Let's send them somewhere silly again. Let's go, right?
Yes.
Okay, but go ahead, continue. That would have been a good closing.
It would have been a good closing.
So go ahead.
Oh my god.
We're just so excited about it. We just watched it and so excited. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I really liked how this one like made a point of not taking itself seriously. They like talk to the audience the whole time. They're like, there's this one part where like the main like, you know, the final girl, she's like, there's only one thing that we need to do. There's only one thing we can do left. We've got to kill him. And then she starts like walking off like triumphantly, and then her friend's like, where are you going? And then she kind of like looks at the camera and she's like, oh yeah, you're right. We should probably make a plan first. Like, you know, things like that. The whole movie. And I mean, the only thing that I thought was a little bit off was I felt like the leprechaun talked too much a little bit. He had a lot of like long conversations with people before he killed them. He did. Which I thought was kind of out of character, but it served a purpose because it really, like, they really used it to explain a lot of story points that hadn't been explained before about how he needs his gold in order to, like...
His power levels based on his gold.
Yes, and how, like, since he had been in the ground for 25 years, that he was, like, off his game, you know, that kind of thing.
Kind of rusty, like he's got to get his powers back a little. Slow burn.
It was kind of like in the Michael, Halloween.
Oh, whoa.
Halloween, where like they had the original and then it just kind of like skips. It kind of...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, and then
another
they have...
timeline. This is another timeline.
Yes, and then they have Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
And,
But see, this one doesn't even need to say anything about... Like, the Leprechaun franchise doesn't even need to say anything about different timelines. Like, Halloween actually tries to be... And this, not so much.
Yeah, but...
But...
It was really good.
It was so good, and I think that... I said it... I said don't watch Leprechaun Origins, and I really wouldn't if you don't want to waste your time, but maybe you won't appreciate Leprechaun Returns as much if you don't put yourself through Origins.
No. I think what you should do is watch Leprechaun 1 through 6, skip Origins, and then watch Leprechaun Returns. I think that will be enough. Because, honestly, 1 through 6 is good, but it does get kind of tedious eventually, like, as you're getting through 2 through 6. So then it's really refreshing to have Leprechaun Returns as, like, a real, like, well done reboot of the original,
to kind of let you know that the torch has been successfully passed. Like this franchise might have some longevity.
Yes, Sci-Fi did an excellent job with that one.
And he's got good kills in this.
Oh yeah.
They didn't spare any expense, I would dare say, or they definitely know how to use their money. They had him in a flame suit at one point in time, a flame suit stunt or whatever, and I've heard those expensive. I
really liked the main girl in it. The actress, whatever her name was. I don't know what her name was, but I thought she did a really good job. You don't think so?
I think so.
I thought she did.
And here's what I liked the most about it.
Oh.
It ends, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's gone, and, these two survived. All right, there we go.
Oh my god, spoilers. Anyways.
Okay.
You don't know which two.
Yeah. People live and die. Anyway, then they do kind of like a little sting at the end. You don't have to wait through the credits. It'll just come up next scene. And then it was Leprechaun getting on the back of a chicken car.
Yes.
Like a rural truck that has a bunch of chickens in the back. And he jumps on, and then he just kind of sits there, and he's like...
He's all bruised and battered from
he's just driving off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because I think you literally could take him anywhere, and you start it with him hopping off of that chicken truck, and that's it. That is still more explanation as to how he got from point A to point B
than we've had at any other
movie. So, like, I'm so excited to see they can put him anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Wait till Elon's on the moon and the Leprechaun shows up.
Elon. Leprechaun in space. Again.
Yeah.
Back to the moon.
Well, you can just do Leprechaun 20 whatever. Like you just do the, like the year.
Yeah.
Or Leprechaun future. I hope they go back to just doing like... Would you do Leprechaun Returns hits Vegas? Would you do Leprechaun Returns? Is that the tag of this franchise now, or do they just do Leprechaun and then they just say a premise again?
I don't know. I feel like we should leave that up to Sci-Fi. I leave it in their good hands.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should go back to the Hood again? No.
I mean, we could.
The Hood's changed a lot since the 90s.
It has.
Maybe he goes to the Hood and finds out that it's like cleared up. Like they fixed up all the things that were bad in the Hood.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where Leprechaun's going next, but I would be very excited to see it, especially so long as Sci-Fi keeps doing it and not WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they even tried that one. Well, I mean, like, you took everything great about Leprechaun and you took it out.
Yes.
And you made it generic like a bunch of other horror movies at the time.
They did so bad. So, to wrap up.
What are your top 3 Leprechaun movies?
Leprechaun.
3. You only get 3. This is what's going to be tough.
Returns. Leprechaun in Vegas, and Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
God. Oh my God, I love you so much. Those are the same exact 3 that I had. Oh my God, that's so good. I couldn't believe it. That's so good. We completely just don't even care about the first 2 movies. What a franchise.
Oh man.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, we've ranked
think
ours.
that's it.
I really enjoyed this franchise.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been wild because
Wild ride,
it's a
yeah.
wild ride, but it's over now. 7, 8 movies.
Yep.
Wowee.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, give it a check. Don't watch Leprechaun Origins. Don't worry
Don't do
about
it.
what I said. Don't watch it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And you don't have to watch 2 either.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
should watch one though.
You should watch 1 just to
to
get
get into it.
just to get into it.
And to see Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, she's in it.
She's so young. It's weird. But anyways. All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Say it.